Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ubuntu channel. This is Ubuntu Sports. Like every Friday, we bring to you a program we call Ubuntu Sports, where we discuss nothing but Zambian football and everything that is related to football happening here in Zambia. And to join me on set, I've got Lamek, who will help us to understand or analyze the topics that we have tonight. Good evening, Lamek. Welcome to Ubuntu Sports.
Good evening, Ruben, and thank you so much for the welcome. It's a beautiful Friday to talk football, and also we know it is an Easter weekend, so a very beautiful day it is indeed.
Great. I remember last year, Lamek, I hosted Bwezan on this show. It was a Good Friday, and Zambia was playing a friendly. Can't remember who, but it was staged at Nkoloma, and we lost. And today also it's a Good Friday. Zambia was playing a friendly match in Korea, and we've lost. I don't know if to call it a Good Friday or a Bad Friday, Lamek.
No, it still remains a Good Friday. Football is maybe another different. It's a different ballgame, but the day continues to remain a Good Friday. For me, it is a Good Friday. Yes, we might have lost today, but I think there's more to the day after all the football has been played.
Great. We'll come back to that game, but let's have a preview of the results that came in the Zambian Super League week 28. 6 games remaining, Lamek. I'm sure you are watching or following some of the games. Which result interested you, and which of the results really disappointed you, didn't go the way you thought it will go?
I think the most disappointing result was Prison Leopards drawing against FC Muza. I felt Muza had a very much big chance to win that match, and they really failed themselves because they had all the chances to beat Prison Leopards. This is a team that beat them in the first round, and then they had the opportunity to seek revenge, but they failed. I felt it was a little bit disappointing. And then coming to the big winners, I think Zesco United, a team that put 6 past Buildcon. For me, I think that was the result of the weekend. As many may call it Ndola Derby, but we know Buildcon, the standards have really gone low. The performances have really dwindled. But I think for me, that was the result. In as much as Buildcon has been losing, they've only managed to concede at least 5 or more once this season, but Zesco managed to put 6. So they've conceded 5+ goals in I think 2 games this season.
Yeah, actually, it's in the last 4 games, the scoreline has been ending 5-0, 6-0 for them. Really, they're allowing too many goals, and at this stage, Lamek, I think we cannot agree that Buildcon is going to go to division to next season. They're playing the National League.
Yeah, Buildcon has officially been relegated. I think their points tally can't surpass Nchanga Rangers, who are on the survival slot with, I think, 31 points. In as much as they may win all matches, or Nchanga or any other team above the drop zone lose all their matches, Buildcon can't still survive. So they are officially relegated. They're the first club to be relegated. We wait to see which other club may join them. But the race between the 3 other clubs is really tight, and a lot is expected in the last 6 games remaining.
Of course. Talking of Buildcon, really, things have not gone in their way this season. What can they do next season so they can bounce back into the Premier League? This is a big club, and it was spending so big, and they signed some big names, brought back Sambalungu and all that, but it's a club that has been relegated. What is it that they need to do now for them to bounce back?
I think going back to Division 1, the spending is almost the same with the Super League. For the National League, I think you spend a little bit more because there were further distances like Livingstone and Pulungu. I think those are far distances. Yeah. So the National League won't be easy for them. It is a really tough league with a lot of quality in terms of play. For them, I think their biggest problems have been with finance. Let them find a sponsor, let the team be commercialized. I think maybe bring in new faces in sponsoring the team. If it's possible, sell some shares in that team, because Mr. Mubanga, yes, he may be financially capable now, but I think for the sake of the club, I think it would be really good to bring in people and see the club, coming back strong again. Look at Lusaka Dynamos. Yes, they've managed to fulfill all their fixtures. Salaries, yes, players are being paid here and there, but look at where they are today. Performance-wise, they are not that good. They're bottom of their logo. So Bitcoin may be headed to similar fate, but I think it should be more than one person. It should be about the club as a whole, unlike what one person can do. Because at the end of the day, when you decide to invest in football, it is not your club. It is the club of the community that you come from, because they are also the owners of the club. In as much as you are the real owner, but we also have people, the fans and whatnot, that want to see the best for the club. Because this club, in their short existence, they've had a good number of fans. So give those fans the club that they love. And then fans that had believed that Bitcoin may be the next big thing.
Thanks. At this point, let me welcome Lawrence. Lawrence, welcome to Ubuntu Sports. It's a good Friday, though. If we talk about the women's football, it wasn't a pleasant result.
Preparatory matches sometimes cannot go your way. Thank you so much for having me on Ubuntu Sports. But talking of the women's football, I think it's too early to start condemning the team. These are just preparatory matches. I think this is a chance for Coach Bruce to know how to enforce his squad. I think he must have picked up some lessons from the game, and also knows where he should work on and things like that. Because obviously, at the time he was picking a squad to go and play the friendlies there, he had something he wanted to try out and see if it can work. That is when we talk of tactically or maybe personnel wise and all that. Probably he knows from the people that he has left, he had left for these games. Maybe he knows if maybe I can sort out that problem with that one and then do some replacements and all that before the final tournament. It's all right. Nothing to really get us worked out so early. Let's give them a chance.
Lawrence, everything was going well for the women's women's national team until Lamek met Evelyn Susan Katongo. Lamek, how was the chat with Susan Katongo? And I saw you were watching a game. What was the chat all about, Lamek?
I met up with the young lady. I think she's one young lady that I think is one for the future. And our discussion basically was just about football, because she's someone she's also into football. So we were just talking about the game as a whole. I think her club, their fortunes, I think they haven't had the best of seasons, because the time we met, they were also getting ready to, I think, play their match. So yeah, that was what the discussion was about.
Great discussion there. Did you touch anything concerning her transfer, moving to a different club after the season? Did she reveal anything?
No, I've always avoided talking about Susan and her transfer. What is and what not, because I think it is a situation that caused great pain to her. So for me, I think I'm happy seeing her smile. I wouldn't want us to go back again to a situation that caused a lot of great pain in her. I think we need to continue working and continue advising her to continue doing the right thing, continue training hard, because if you see the performance, she isn't at her best. So it is something that I feel may still be bothering her, and she may not need to be reminded so much about it. I think let's give her space. Let's see what the World Cup may bring, and then from there onwards, something good may come up. I'm excited for the future for her.
Great. Let's talk about the selection. There was so much noise when Coach Bruce and Faz released the names of the people that are going to South Korea. Of course, we know the match was played today, and we've lost 5-2. But before we talk about the results, let's talk about the selection. There was so much noise, especially on Avel Chitundu. Lawrence, I'm sure you are one of those people that were last time we were talking about Avel Chitundu. Again, she's not part of the team. The last time she was part of the team was when the Shpolopolo boys went, Shpolopolo national team went for the COSAFA, and she didn't play. She didn't take part in that tournament.
Ruben, I'm not one to criticize a coach based on selection of players. No. Actually, I was having a conversation with some people yesterday. I said if Coach Bruce thinks he can carry his wife, his daughters, all of them, and his cousins, all the female cousins, the family, and they go and bring us a World Cup, I wouldn't mind. What I'm trying to say is that we cannot be judging a coach based on what he thinks is right. Remember, we are fans. The mistake we make is we want to be fans and also want to be coaches and also want to be administrators and want to be referees and want to be everything in the football pitch, which is not possible. We have to give the coach a benefit of a doubt. He has got ideas in mind that he wants to implement, and he has to pick from what he has, and he'll pick, and let's give him the liberty to pick who he thinks is going to work out the best for him. We cannot be imposing, because no, that one played well last time, so they must also be there this time out. It doesn't work like that. I think for me, the way I look at it is, let us judge the coach based on results. If we are going to go to the World Cup and lose all our group games, then we shall come and start scrutinizing, and that there he has to explain. But if just names and we are already trying to make the coach giving explanations on why and what and why not that one, no. We see the selection of probably English powerhouses when it comes to European powerhouses in football. When they make their team selections, you'll be shocked. Everybody wonders why a goalkeeper like David De Gea is always left at the national team for Spain, never ever selected. And the goalkeepers that they pick, we don't even know them, most of us. But that is what the coach wants. There is something that he wants to implement that he feels De Gea cannot implement. Let him be. But when they lose, people should come back and say, "Hello, mana, here you lost. We should have won this game. We believe we should have won this game." That is how we judge a coach, and not just because of names and then there's noise. No, I'm not one.
All right, Lamek, do you agree with Lawrence?
To some extent, yes, I agree. When it comes to national team selection, the cry, there has been a lot of accusations. The cry has been genuine from the fans who have felt that maybe one or two players may actually be given a go-ahead, may have made it to the team. But again, one thing people need to know is that statistics don't tell the truth. They don't always tell the truth. People say numbers don't lie, but numbers do lie, because for Avel, people that closely follow women's football would tell you that Avel only has had good form, I think, in the last 2-3 weeks. That's when she has actually come to the party. and produce some decent results for her team. And her performance has looked lively in the last 2-3 weeks, but of late she was a shadow of herself. So if somebody who wants to come and critique the coach wants to critique based on numbers, no, she scored 12 goals. Look, the 12 goals are not goals that were scored in a lot of matches, put out. There were goals that were scored as a brace, as a hat-trick. So she scored in fewer games, but more goals. That is the kind of situation that Aveo is in. For me, I think she's a talented lad. She, with continuous, effort, she can make it to the World Cup. But that team does not have permanent places, because the fight for places is really tough. Look, Misozi Zulu wasn't picked. Why? She's someone who has been the backbone of the team. She's carried the team all along for a lot of years. She wasn't picked this time around. Ave also wasn't picked. So one thing people need to know is that other players are also coming in. There are other players that are waking and also coming in. Yes, for me, I'm not one to to speak about single players. I think critique players that were picked or not, but I think the coach, we may just let the coach do the work. For me, my principle is that let the coach do the work, and if he fails, we fire. And trying to influence certain decisions, for me, that's not for me, because you give the coach an excuse. Let him pick his team, go and produce results, and then come and be answerable to us at the end of the day.
But Aluza, the coach, Kaidi, he's doing the work. Aluza, the coach.
Look, for me again, I don't have kind words for Coach Bruce, because we lost terribly. Trust me, I don't have kind words for the coach. People want to talk about preparations, no learning, what and what not. For me, I think we've had enough to learn. It's time to compete.
I agree with you there.
These friendly matches we are playing should not be taken as learning, because teams are taking us seriously. So if we lose by big margins, we won't be able to secure high-profile friendlies. We campaigned really well at the AFCON. Now this is the time now to continue building on the performances that we had at the AFCON, and like coming, dropping down in performances. For me, I don't think we need to drop down. If we need to consistently play certain players, let's do that, because that gives us good rankings. And when we have good rankings, we stand better advantages of, we enjoy certain privileges that come with better rankings. These matches are important to the rankings. So if we had beaten today South Korea, we beat them again, it should be on Tuesday. And then the other friendlies that may come, Germany and, other friendlies that will come, if we are able to pick positive results. Trust me, by the time we play in the World Cup, if we campaign well, we may actually jump from the position that we are at right now in the women's, rankings to a much more respectable, ranking. So for me, I'm done with the learning. Let's stop using that excuse. Let us go and compete.
maybe the drawing board is what you are used to. But I also was disappointed with the results. 5-2 was just too much for me. This is a time that the team needs to start gelling, instead of us again going back to square one. Yes, Lawrence.
Ruben, in every game, let us look at the things that we learned. We learn, and things that we did well, and there are things that probably we didn't do well. First and foremost, I was encouraged that we were able to pull level and actually go 2-1 up after conceding giving the first goal, and then at 2-1 up, probably there was need for the coach should have thought the game was going okay and the like. But I think in the second half, we saw Zambia lose the lead and lose the whole match altogether, 5-2. Now, first and foremost, for me, we can talk about the results and all that. We can talk about that. True, we have lost. No apologies for that. I think we deserve a good explanation for that. But sometimes football is harsh on coaches. I always say this. Football is so harsh on coaches. Here you are, the team is playing very well, they're creating chances, but players are missing the ball, are missing the goal, they're not scoring. And then here is the team, they are taking their chances. The whole blame will come back on the coach. But see what means will miss my ball. So what means will panga my mistakes. The blame will come back to the coach. And at the end of the day, it's the nature of the job. Njana Vasanka, but let's also remember that probably they were doing fine pains over Sanka, and then because not all games are the same. Let's just face it, not all games are the same. Another Sanka, but in that game, they make mistakes, sometimes uncharacteristic mistakes. Like you even wonder, but the blame goes to the coach. It's just the nature of the job, and I cannot protect Coach Bruce on that. I cannot. I'll not even attempt to do that. Unfortunately, he's on his own on this one. But I think the girls also have to take some blame for the way they played. You know, the game was characterized by several kinds of blunders. You could see a lot of miscommunications. You could see mistakes there, here and there, and all that. And that is what cost us the game. So at the end of the day, we now know that there is need for some things to work on communication on the. So there's need for some training on communication on the pitch. We need to work on that. We know that some blunders that were made could have been some goals we could have avoided. Actually, Ruben, I'm not sure if you saw the goals. We could have avoided some of these goals, but they went in anyway. So I think, yeah, it's not time to learn, it's time to practice. But remember, national team duty is kind of something very complex. You know, it takes time for players to play together. After the World Cup, we don't even know when the team is going to be together again, after like that. And worse off, we have a coach who is not employed on a permanent basis. He's only called in when there is something coming up. So he does not even have that chance to always be preparing. You know, you always see Ruben, the coach for England, going to watch his players, going to scrutinize the players and all that. We do not have that for this team. So the coach has to rely on the little information that he gets whenever he has a glimpse of the players. Some of the players whom we do not watch. Tell me, how does Coach Bruce watch Venekunda Nanji Real Madrid? You only hear the scores. Sometimes even watch just a few clips here and there from YouTube and all that. That's all he has to rely on. So there's just a lot more work that needs to be done. Let's just face it. I'm one who always calls out things the way they are. I always say, here, boss, boss. But I think, in as much as we are going to bash Coach Bruce, let us also remember that it's not like he works with this team every day. No. He only meets with this when there's something coming. So, friendly Zuku. I'm not sure if they are going to go straight into camp in preparation for the World Cup. I'm not sure about that. But probably they'll take a break off, some time off. And then towards the World Cup again, the team is assembled. It's like that.
Yeah. The leagues are still on. The women's league are still on, so they can take a break. But let's hear from the captain, Barbara Banda and Kundanaji. They were both on the score sheet. Let's hear what they had to say after they lost the game 5-2 to Korea. Let's hear from them. It seems the clips are not yet ready. We'll hear about the reactions of Kundananji and also from the skipper, Barbara Banda. Lamek, you've heard the submissions from Lawrence. What do you have to say? What's your comment?
Okay, for me, I think Lawrence is being kind. I think he's really being kind with his words.
Okay, Lamek, sorry to disturb you. Let's hear the reactions of Kundananji and Barbara Banda. Then we'll be back and then you'll hear from the reaction.
I can say about today's game is we started very well, but we just had some errors that we need to fix up as a team, because whatever we do, we have to do as a team. So we had some mistakes, and I think the coach is able to look into them, and I think we need to do our level best in our next game that will be fair. Everything is possible in football, because this was our first time playing against them, so I think we have some ideas on how they're playing and what we're supposed to work on.
I think we should work on defending, because attacking we try to do our best. Because of the poor defending, it was like everyone was coming down to defend instead of giving some players to help and go for counter-attacks. But we find out that when we go for counter-attacks, only few people are there because we had a poor defending.
So you've heard it for yourself. Those are the reactions from Barbara Banda and Kunda Nanji. Lamek, you are saying Lawrence Achila super wilafi. What do you have to say? Sorry, seems Lamek is not there. Lawrence, what's your reaction? You've read the captain, Barbara Banda, and also the other goal scorer in Kunda Nanji.
Basically, she has echoed what I was just saying. It was an issue of mistakes and blunders that has really cost the team, and it's good that even the players themselves realize that, and hopefully they should push to do better than that. It's unfortunate that the other friendly that was supposed to be played has been cancelled. I'm not sure for what reasons. But I think I would have hoped to see a sort of reaction and an attempt from them to do better this time. At least if it's to lose, we lose by a smaller margin. We cannot concede 5 goals in a game like this and then expect to go and do well at the World Cup. No, I don't think we are doing ourselves a favor, because we are giving other teams that are in our group some confidence to know that they can knock us here and there, like beat us rubbish, which should not be the case. Teams should know that to play the Zambian team, it's going to take a lot to beat them, and that is the reputation we have to start building at this point in time. Conceding 5 is a no.
Great, Lamek, wanted to hear from you.
For me, I think Barbara spoke more of more of a captain. She, I think it was more about, she wasn't too open about the whole team. I think she spoke more for everyone, and Barbara and Kunda Nanji talked about 2 different aspects of the game. I think Kunda Nanji spoke more of an analyst, because she tried to break down where the team got it wrong and all of that. But for Barbara, tried to, take that step where she felt, yes, the performance was bad, but the team would be ready to work on the mistakes that they had made. But for me, I'll repeat this again. On Coach Bruce, I think Lawrence was being too kind on Coach Bruce. Here's one thing. Football and tactics. You can't go and play 4-4-2 when you're playing against teams that are good with the ball. You understand? We need to play to our strengths. So playing to our strengths is that we are of smaller bodies. We can only play well if we play a passing game. It allows us to transition more quickly. It allows us to build more quickly and to create better chances. Unlike trying to pump those long balls and hope that Barbara, playing with hope, that is what the Copper Queens are doing. We are playing with hope that when we hit one up front, it may find Barbara dribbles one person and scores. Or Kundananji, it may find Kundananji, who may dribble one person and score. Which for me, I don't think that is the correct way football should be played. I think let us play to our strengths. Let us build from the back. We have Irene in the midfield. We have Susan in the midfield. Players who can play and pass the ball. So why not play to our strengths? Tactical approach. That 4-4-2 formation gives a lot of pressure on the defenders, because what the Koreans did, they whenever they got the ball, they knew that the defense would break down, because they would not be able to handle the pressure for that whole period, because it was too difficult for the team to defend as a whole. When you play 4-4-2, yes, the wing forwards may come in and help, but not all the time. You have moments of lapses, and then the Koreans use those moments of lapses every time. The wing forwards failed to track back. The Koreans use that to our advantage. That is why the 5 goals came about. We won't single-handedly blame players for, the goalkeeper for some of the goals that she conceded, or the defender for some of the goals that she kind of gave away, or something like that. But that all came due to the pressure that the coach failed to read and failed to to react to. Had the coach managed to react to that, it could have been a different story. If you want to play Grace, don't play her as a second striker, play her as a midfielder. So if we're going to play Grace, Irene, we'll play Susan, let us give all players roles. Let us not give Grace that position that she stays behind the number 9, because we're playing more of a 4-4-2, which is not so good. For me, I'll continuously say this. The Copper Queens are way much better than the performance that we saw today. And then if the Copper Queens are to lose, at least let us lose while playing well. Let us not lose with a poor performance. Let us lose while playing well. For me, that is my cry. Yes, losing 5-2. Yes, they're a decent opposition. They're a decent team. South Korea is a really decent team. But if we're going to lose to a team, let us lose while playing well. Unlike losing without, nothing to show for, which is really bad. Let us have something to show for. And then when we lose, we know that we lost while playing good.
All right, thanks. Let's turn to the Absa Cup tomorrow. The Absa Cup continues, and semi-finals. The first game, it's Forest Rangers versus Power Dynamos. Lamek, can you go first on that one?
The Absa Cup, a lot is expected from the teams. Power Forest, a really tough match. Both the teams are looking for Absa Cup glory. Forest Rangers may look to win it for the first time. Power Dynamos may look to win, I think, should be their second trophy. Their first Absa Cup, in fact, their first Absa Cup. So both teams are looking to win their first Absa Cup. Power Dynamos won it while it was called, I think, the Barclays Cup. So they're yet to win the Absa Cup, the new, Absa Cup. So a really tough match, which requires, a lot. For that general fan, it may be a boring game, because I think it will be more tactical. Ian Bakala won't want to throw caution to the wind. I think it will be more of a tactical match than it will be an open match, because open matches are more interesting than tactical matches. So I think it will be a tactical match, boring for people that may want to see an open game. But we'll wait and see. Hope Moela from Forest Rangers may come to the party and then help Forest Rangers reach the final. We know Power favorites, but we can't rule Forest Rangers out.
Thanks. Lawrence, do you think Power Dynamos can get a double this season, get the Premier League, and also get the Absa Cup? They're playing Forest Rangers tomorrow.
I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I think last week I mentioned that. This team has shown me something that I really want to see in a champion. That is, even when they had a bad period, their worst period, they were not scoring goals. They were not losing still. They kept on drawing to do 0-0, just like that. They could not score goals, but no one could score past them as well. So for me, when I look at the league, I think no one will match them. Honestly speaking, no one will match them. And I think I saw some fans attacking their coach, saying that he's a draw specialist.
Yeah.
But sometimes a point is very valuable when you are on a bad run. It happens for teams. There's a period when teams just have droughts. They can't score goals. Nothing's just happening for them. A lot of teams will start losing games, but Power Dynamos were not Dynamos were not losing games. They were actually managing to get a point even in their bad spell, which to me showed me some sort of character. And they have picked themselves up this time around, and they're banging in goals, picking up 3 points every now and then, here and there. So for the league, I think it's done. When it comes to the Absa Cup, they have to contend with Musa, I think.
All right. Talking of Musa, they're playing Trident, a team from Northwestern Province, a surprise semi-finalist. Really, do you think Musa will have it easy?
Musa should carry the day on this one. I can't even doubt them. They should carry the day on this one. I think there's something that I saw. Last week I was I think I met their two buses coming for their last weekend's fixture, and I saw something in the team. I think they are quite a united team and very high spirited. I didn't get a chance to have a conversation with any of them, but I saw a very spirited team coming from Mazabuka there. So I think Trident will have to pull a host of surprises to make sure that they go past Musa in the semi-finals for the Absa Cup.
All right, Lamek, sum it up for us. Musa versus Trident, as we say our goodbye.
That is really a tough match because Musa have been dominant every time they play at home against Trident. Trident have also been dominant. I think they've beaten Musa every time they played in Kalumbila. But this time around, they'll be playing at a neutral venue. I think the biggest chance for Trident to win this match, if they go in and make the match more physical, I think they stand a better chance of winning. Otherwise, if they want to play a very open game, it will be really difficult for them because Musa are actually very good on the ball. And if you give them time on the ball, they can really hurt you. So for Trident, Musa, I think it's a tough match. It won't be easy. I think it may be the more entertaining of the two matches of the semi-finals. But we'll wait and see for Sunday.
Wait and see for Sunday. And then all the best to the teams that are taking part in the Absa Cup. And this is where we end this week's episode of Ubuntu Sports. Join us next week, same time. Bye-bye.